Thank you very much. Welcome to the meeting of the Licensing Board. Are there any apologies?
Yes, we have apologies from Councillor McCluckie and Councillor Benny. I'm not too sure about Councillor Lee, but we still attend.
Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest? No, I see no declarations. Can we move to item 3 on the agenda, which is the minutes? It's page 3 of your papers. It's not long. Okay, before we begin, all visitors must sign into the visitor book at the entrance to Kilncraig. This includes council staff from other buildings. There's no planned fire evacuation drill or alarm test today. If the fire alarm is activated during a visit, you must exit the building immediately. The council officers will direct you to the nearest fire exit and will escort visitors to the building fire assembly point beside the Silver Man at the top of Parliament Walk. Kilncraig staff should report to the floor's assembly point. You should remain at your assembly point until directed to reoccupy the building and only re-enter it once the fire marshal has advised it is safe to do so. Please do not attempt to leave the site by vehicle until cleared to do so by the fire marshal to ensure access routes are kept clear for emergency vehicles. Please note that this is a public meeting and that members of the public may be in attendance. The meeting will be recorded by the clerk and published online for public viewing. The taking of photographs, including screenshots, audio or video recordings, are not permitted during meetings unless with express permission of myself. Can members attending virtually activate the cameras where possible to enable you to join by video, and can all attendees mute their microphones when not speaking? Please do not come in during the items unless I invite you to do so. If members attending virtually wish to speak on any point, please indicate by clicking on the Raise Your Hand button. Members in the chamber should also raise their hand and I will bring you in at the appropriate time. If members have not been able to access all papers for the meeting, please indicate. No, I see no indication. Clerk?
Yep, just to confirm again, we have apologies from Councillor McCluckie and Councillor Benny.
Thank you. With that over with, we'll now move to item 3 on the agenda, which are the minutes of the previous meeting. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. And page 8. For those in attendance, is that a true and accurate record? Thank you. We now move to item 4 on the agenda. The first item is a non-variation to amend an operating plan for the Hyder mini market. I believe we have Mr. Enns, is it? In attendance.
Good morning, Your Honours. Gordon Ensley.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone. So, as already discussed, we've got Gordon here representing the applicant. You will find in the agenda there's a copy of the application form and operating plan that was submitted. And there is also a response from the Licence and Standards Officer, and Police Scotland, who are not in attendance today, also responded to say that they have no comment to make on the application.
Thank you. Well,
good morning, Board. Morning, Mr. Ensley. The application relates to, as previously explained, a non-minor variation to a premises licence which operates as a shop in a residential part of Clackmannan. My comments should be treated, of course, as a representation in the terms of section 22 of the licence in Scotland.
Can you move the mic closer to?
Yeah, of course. Is that better? So my comments should, of course, be treated as a representation in the terms of section 22 The application, the main part of the application is to add home delivery of alcohol on to the operating plan for the licence. The board's views on home delivery are a matter that is recorded in their own statement of licensing policy. I have no specific concerns about this premises, and my concerns around the home delivery of alcohol are well known. However, they can be managed by the addition of local conditions of the type that I have suggested and drafted at Appendix A in my report. I've got no concerns about the operation of the premises and the significant period that it's been there operating as an alcohol licensed premises. I would suggest, however, that it is necessary and expedient for the purposes of the licensing objectives to add local conditions to any premises seeking to make home deliveries to ensure that the home deliveries of alcohol in particular are properly regulated.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Paul? No. Sure.
I was just going to propose to move it with Appendix A.
Well, first of all, I'm going to hear from Mr. Lemley first.
Good morning, Your Honours. If I could just to respond to the LSE's comments, we're comfortable to accept the conditions as outlined in Appendix A. That is commonplace for most licensing boards to have conditions attached, and we're comfortable with that. So the application before you is to a non-minor variation to add a number of things. One, which is home delivery of food and alcohol. 2, parcel collection service, and then 3, to tidy up the licence and just have background music played, which is part of Premier FM. The home delivery of alcohol is done through Snappy. Snappy Shopper is an app where a customer downloads the app. The premises is registered as business with the Snappy Shopper, and the product is ordered online. There's an age restriction prompt when alcohol is ordered as part of that, so it's just like an online shopping piece. That produces a receipt. The transaction is paid for online. The member of staff goes and picks that and delivers that within 30 to 60 minutes. In my experience, the vast majority of transactions are food-driven, with alcohol about 10 to 12% of the normal transaction. That changes during the course of the week, but that's the normal kind of transaction profile. It's probably fair to say that since COVID, since 2020-21, more and more premises are adding food and alcohol. However, it's not got the same level of volume that it had in the 2 years after COVID. The parcel collection service is just really a tidy up, so that's kind of that kind of Royal Mail or kind of collection where people, it's just a pick-up point, so that's either in external lockers or that's internally where they come in and deliver as part and parcel. That's just a footfall driver. There's a small commission that the retailer gets as part and parcel of that, and then the last part, as I say, is background music, which is just generally traditional FM that plays through an adverts and kind of Radio 2 kind of background music that plays as part and parcel of that. As I say, accept the conditions that are attached, with no further comments. We move to grant members.
Okay, before we move to questions, I have one self. On page 29, when we look at Appendix A, we refer to point 8, point 6. It's about the delivery of alcohol. What steps would your drivers be taking to ensure that the recipient of the order is A, over 18, and B, in a state to accept the delivery?
So the delivery comes in an app, in a handheld app. So when they go out there, they have to, it prompts them to ask for ID. The ID is then recorded as part and parcel of that, and then that ID, so it prompts an ID to be asked for. It's then recorded in the app. That's then uploaded to the cloud. So it's all up there somewhere that can be downloaded and accessible for visits and inspections as part and parcel of that process.
So the second part of my question was about handing over the alcohol to someone who's knowingly under the influence of alcohol.
As part of the 2-hour training that they all receive, we talk about the definition of drunkenness. And as your honours will know, that's the definition, and it's about individual interpretation. Someone who may be alcohol dependent will act very, very different than someone who's under the influence. The transactions are only taking place till 9 o'clock at night, so we're not late night deliveries in any way, shape or form. So we don't believe that is to be of high risk. It's certainly something that we monitor. Certainly the clients that I've done this with previously, we've not had many situations where we monitor the volume that someone buys. So if someone comes in and buys repeat purchase or buys larger volumes, so for example, bottles or litre bottles of spirits, and that was being bought on a regular basis, then they may show levels of concern where concern for that person's welfare. But that's very much in the individual shop to determine whether that's appropriate or not. If someone was trying to repeat purchase twice a day, then it's likely that that transaction would be declined. Just a moral compass would say we're not delivering. Thank you very much. Okay. We're not challenging people's habits in any way, shape or form. It's just as an operator, we're conscious of our responsibilities.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other questions? Fiona, you already suggested you support this application?
Yeah, just move it with obviously the conditions in Appendix A.
I'm happy to second that, with the usual caveat that this is a generally new trend for deliveries. It could become an area of concern for licensing, and we should keep it under review.
As you know, Donald, each case is treated on its own merits. So, absolutely, it's something we can keep an eye on.
Yeah, happy to agree with the conditions, the standard conditions that are recommended.
All in favour?
Agreed.
That's unanimous.
Very much obliged, Your Honours. Thank you.
Just to confirm, the licence is granted subject to the local conditions set out in Appendix A being met.
Yes. Okay. Okay, we now move on to item 4.1. John?
So today, item 4.1 relates to an extended hours application submitted on behalf of Chalmers. We've got Mr. Kevin Wackett, who is the premises manager at Chalmers. And you'll also find in the agenda that there's a copy of the report submitted by the LSO as well as the application form.
Okay. Paul?
Good morning. You'll see before you an application for an extended hours, something we have very rarely these days. We've got very generous hours in Clackmannanshire already in place for licensed premises that want to permanently operate. Pretty much whatever hours we've asked for, we've very rarely turned any down. So the extended hours process is unusual in that remark in terms of Clackmannanshire. One of the few premises that have applied in the last few years is Chalmers, usually for Sunday evenings when there's a bank holiday the following day. They do operate as a nightclub. Certainly in recent times, I've had no concerns brought to my attention about their operation. I know that they comply now fully within the limitations that they can with the late hours operating conditions. Their CCTV system was relatively recently fully upgraded to meet compliance with that. And very, very few occasions in any time in the past I've had any notifications from Police Scotland about any concerns that they've raised. From that point of view, it's simply a matter for the applicant to demonstrate in their application and in any presentation that they wish to make to you that this is a special event of either local or national significance, or it is a special event to be catered for on the premises. The application makes mention of a 20th birthday party for the premises. Other than that, it makes mention of some specialist DJs. I'm afraid I'm of an age that means very little to me who would be a specialist DJ these days. I don't suppose Tiger Tim counts anymore, you know, for those that love that minute. But I'm sure Mr Wackett will present to you accordingly and leave the board to make a decision about whether or not it is appropriate to grant extended hours. It is an hour, they're seeking an extra hour, they're seeking on a Sunday night, making the terminal hour 2 AM rather than 1 AM. And my understanding is locally that the Monday is a bank holiday. So it has a reduced impact on the working lives of those that are in the area. Although that doesn't affect everybody, obviously.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Before we move to the applicants, are there any questions of Paul?
It was just to find out if there was a comment from the police.
Any other comments, Nick? Fiona?
Were the police consulted?
Yes, the police are consulted as part of an extended hours application and they elected to make no comment.
I actually signed 2 applications, one for the bank holiday Sunday and one for our actual anniversary, 20th, but I'm only hearing about the bank holiday. We are doing a paper advertising which started last Wednesday about the 20th anniversary. Our anniversary actually lands on the Sunday after the bank holiday, and it actually clicks from the Sunday being the 11th, and our anniversary is the 12th, so we swing over into the 12th, actually be open on our 20th anniversary. So I'm confused, we're only talking about one night here.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused myself.
So the application, the second one, was submitted after. I think it was last week, last Monday, or 2 weeks ago. So we didn't have time due to the deadlines to get it to this board. The process.
Just to get transferred, you know, we could transfer the date from that one, the one we submitted early, just to transfer the date over, or just.
Yeah, so that's treated as a separate application, and we have a way that we can deal with that in its own merit. But this one today is only for the application that's been discussed.
So the one we actually wanted, which was our 20th anniversary, is not being considered today.
No, it wasn't submitted in time. We didn't have the time to get it to this. Just my mistake. I put the wrong date on the initial application form. Thank you for it's bank holiday.
I appeal to the councillors to be logical about this. Thank you.
Sorry, Sean, I'm a bit confused myself here now. Are we here to discuss the application for the birthday party, for a 20th birthday party, or are we here to discuss another application? And if we are here to discuss the other application, why don't we have a copy of it in front of us?
So it was only submitted, I believe, either last week or the week before. So we didn't have time to get it to this board due to the deadlines that we need to meet, because we need to have the agenda submitted a couple of weeks, I think it was the Friday. So that didn't give us the time to consult with the police, to consult with the LSO, and get it to this board meeting. So that application will need to be dealt with on its own, and we'll deal with that before the deadline. So that's the second one that's, you've not been sent it because we just didn't have the time to get it to you.
Okay, I get that with the time. So this application in front of us, can you clarify exactly what this application is here?
It's exactly as it's laid out on the application form and the agenda. That's all that we could get to you in compliance with the deadlines that we've got to work towards.
It's the exact same, it's just got the wrong date in it. That's the issue. The issue was when I initially submitted it, I had the wrong date. I was thinking it was bank holiday Sunday, but it's a week after. So it was just, the application is the exact same, just it's got the wrong date in it. But when I contacted Sean, he says we need to do a separate application. So that's all it was.
Which was put in and paid for.
So we did put it in, submit it. I've got a copy here. I've got a copy of it here. I emailed it, I've got a copy here. If you want to have a look at it, it's the exact same.
Okay.
It's just a different date.
Okay. Fiona?
Mr. Mike. Right, so can I just have clarification? It's not that you've put in two, so you've put this first application in, but that has the wrong date in it. So you're not wanting this date to be, you're not wanting extended hours for the 4th and the 5th, this day period, that's the wrong one. You're wanting it for the following weekend.
Yes.
So what we're saying is that this isn't, that there's nothing, what you're saying is you don't want what's on this application, so this is null and void. And what they're saying is they're actually wanting it for the following day. So I take it you're removing this application that's in front of us then, because that's in the wrong day. Yeah, but what you actually want is for the date of the 11th, but and my understanding is they've not, the officers have not had time to consult on that. They have done this one, but this one you don't want because you actually want the following weekend.
We wanted both.
You did want both.
We wanted both. We paid 2 applications. We wanted both. We paid 2 applications. We tried to catch it, but it's not that complicated. It really isn't. Honestly. The same conditions that are on, that have already been said, that there's no police report, will be the same for the following Sunday. It's not complicated.
Well, Sunday's no bank holiday, so.
I'm well aware that it's not a complicated procedure. However, we are being asked to make a decision on this application in front of us. Not on the second one, on this one here. But
I recognise
right on that one.
I recognise due process, I do. However, there's got to be some sort of wriggle room mechanism that you can all in this room make a reasonable decision. Thank you. I'm at your mercy.
As far as I'm aware, in all the years I've been doing this job, which is considerable, what we do here, we have met in the past, Mr. Henderson, and what we do is we look at the application in front of us.
Yes.
Not someone that may come in a future date. To be fair, yes, you're saying that the application will be exactly the same. We don't know that until we have it in front of us. You have a bit of paper. We haven't had a chance to look at that bit of paper. We don't have the details.
Sexy.
Yes, Allah.
Can I ask if we can have a recess so we can get some legal advice?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a 5-minute recess.
It was a simple mistake. We just put it wrong dates.
Well, that's what we need the legal advice just to make sure what's can.
5-minute recess to discuss it.